Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. I'm not in my comfortable chair and I'm not sitting back and I'm not relaxing, but I still have my tea. And that's because a caring viewer told me that my lighting was off and that I needed to sit up straight. And then I thought, well, this is what I do at my desk. So I decided to do it this way, and hopefully it looks much brighter and it's a lot more steadier and it's a better shot and for sure. But I was just trying to give the Tuesday tea time seating vibe, but it's darker. So she's right, she knows, she's in PR. So anyway, so today's talk, I am back, you guys. I'm back. We didn't do anything last week. We did a retake, like a rerun. And while I was away, and today I'm going to tell you everything that I learned. I mean, I knew some of this before, but this is just adds fuel to the fire of everything that I was talking about. So let me take a sip. Okay, today's talk is about getting a buyer's attention, and what better place for me to learn about getting a buyer's attention than attending the past month's 3 procurement events that I went to. And part of what I did on stage when I went to both the NMSDC, the Minority Council 50th anniversary annual conference, as well as the event, the Unity event with WeBank in, where was I? First, I was in New Orleans. Last week, I was in DC. I've partnered with a buyer, and a buyer and I, her name is Allison QB. She's from Capital One. We stand on stage and we educate suppliers on what to do and what not to do and how to pitch. So while I was there, I met, not just do I have, the 18 years that I spent buying products and services from vendors, but I spent all this time on stage with Allison and heard all of her feedback to the vendors. As well, I was able to meet with so many other buyers, some of them for large companies and corporations. And often when I meet with them, I ask them about what gets your attention, what's a pet peeve, what are suppliers doing that is good, and what are they doing that are bad. So I'm gonna put it all together into this thing that I developed for today, and I'm also gonna write about it. I've made two, groupings. One is what the supplier does that gets dry attention and what gets deep attention. So the dry attention is something that they do that was fun but forgotten and trashed and didn't work. The deep attention is the one that gets a buyer to give you an appointment. Okay? So I'm going to go by categories, and please don't take offense to any of this, everyone. This is what I think. And this is just based on, as I said, my personal experience, having trained in the last 10, 11 years, hundreds of small businesses who were vendors and trying to pitch to corporations. Okay. The gimmicky card, gift, or leave behind. If it's gimmicky, if it's flashy, like one gentleman had the business card that was metal with cutouts, like super expensive, very cool, very cool. People said it was very cool, but it was forgettable. The deep attention, so that's the dry attention. The deep attention kind is when you have, for example, and I forgot, I was going to get it for you. I have a virtual card where it has downloads of information that would be pertinent to my target. It has videos that would help my target. It has a book that's a resource and a value to my target. And it has like ability to talk to my target. It allows them to save my information. It allows them to exchange their information with me, but it's also a footprint and an impression. And it has to do with all the things that I have in that virtual card that could help them. So that's number one, is instead of a gimmicky card, gift, or leave behind, why don't you have something that helps them about their problem, that also introduces you and positions how you help with respect to that problem. Number two, dry attention getting thing that small businesses do is elevator pitches that tell stories or make jokes or have cute sayings. So people think that having an elevator pitch that is memorable has to do with, getting impact in terms of like a wow, or something that's memorable, like a saying. And that's true, but deep attention getting elevator pitches says something different than other people in a way that's relevant to the prospect's problem, and talks to how they're solving that problem. But it talks about either a different way that they're solving a problem, or it talks about a problem that nobody even is addressing. All they're saying is we do this, but they're not really addressing, if your elevator pitch is different and is saying something specific, that they help something specific in a specific industry, then the person who's hearing it, who's the buyer in that industry, is going to want to hear more. That's how you grab their attention. They're going to say, wow, we were just talking about this at a board meeting yesterday, right? So the cute elevator pitch versus the sticky elevator pitch, the one that helps versus the one that gets attention. The next dry attention getter is the forceful and flashy personality who oozes charm. And I had a couple of these charmers on my stage, and they were doing their elevator pitch and they were doing the whole pitch. And it's great to have that. It's an amazing, amazing trait to be charming and confident and polished, and appear to know what you're talking about and have that presence. But it means nothing if it's not within the context of what the buyer needs. So instead of that polished, flashy personality, I would rather have someone who is a concise and direct communicator, who can talk with authority about the industry problem and make the buyer believe that they can solve that problem. So if you can talk about my industry and that problem with great authority, concisely, without going into, too much detail, but can give me the essence of how you can actually help, then that's what I want, instead of that oozing charm personality that's just like super glib. The next thing on my list is this is the opposite, kind of the nice gals and the guys who refuse to pitch. And that is their pitch. And one of the buyers actually at lunch told me about it. She's like, this guy, he refused to pitch me. All he did was he just wanted to be friendly. He just wanted to have a relationship building. And she actually thought that that's why she remembered him. But what she ended up calling him about was because he was niched, and she remembered his niche. So instead, what I call, just the dry attention is, I don't pitch. I'm just a nice guy. This is just about relationships. Instead, what I would love is for you to become for them to remember to be a well-niched, clearly messaged business owner who truly stands out and solves an expensive problem for the buyer. So the only reason she remembered him is because he was niched, and she doesn't remember that. She thinks she remembered him because he refused to pitch. And while that might have been different and set him apart, because she already came with a whole bunch of baggage around, half the people that I meet, half the vendors are like aggressively pitching, right? And then when we tried to define what aggressive was, she kind of downgraded it to saying like just persistent versus aggressive. But so I would rather forget the relationship build, just communicate clearly and confidently with authority around what I'm struggling with. Okay. The next, what I call the dry attention getter way to get the attention of a buyer is the follow-up fiend, this is who she was talking about, who aggressively pursues buyers. So instead of that, what I want for you, the deep attention getter, is the irresistible vendor with the differentiated, valuable offer who gets chased by the buyer. So the buyer is actually chasing them, or at least they are getting a very easy appointment with the buyer. And I'll give you an example is, there was a lot of buyers for my services of big corporations in the room, and they came up to me to talk to me, or if they didn't come up to me and I contacted them from the list of names that I knew were in the crowd because I got the cards, I got very easy appointments with them. So that's what I want for you, is so for you to position yourself in front of them with visibility, with authority around a problem that you know they have that you can solve, that they then pursue you for, instead of you running after them with thousands of other vendors who are doing exactly the same thing and then being called aggressive for it. Let me take another sip. This one's going to be fast. Okay. So the last one is, again, these are all very contentious. I know a lot of people can probably argue the heck out of these, but this is what I think. This is what Chala thinks. So the last one is a flashy brand name, clever, gimmicky, cliquey brand name. And while it could be memorable, I think it's dry attention. Like, it's forgotten. It's not really that memorable. What I would rather instead is that the brand is actually positioned and actually named within the positioning, or has a tagline, to be able to convey what exactly. There's my phone going. I'm sorry. Has a tagline to be able to convey exactly what it is they do, what problem they solve, and who they help. So I am like running. I feel like I'm running between meetings. There's phones going off. Everything's happening at the same time. I have call after call, sales call after sales call. I'm blessed and so happy. And I'm so happy that we got to meet again this Tuesday. So next up is next week. I'm not going anywhere. I know you guys are having your Thanksgiving. We already had that, had the turkey, had the calories. You guys, you're welcome to your turkey. And happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.